I wouldn't say I'm someone who has got her shit together, but I thought I could talk about how I got into product design. I guess this video is more for people who are thinking of becoming a product designer, UI UX designer, or even like just you want to join the tech industry. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be very inspiring, in case you were expecting something inspirational. Just for context, I got a degree in chemistry and then 2 full-time jobs. Then I went for an internship at Circles.life. It's where I learned like, okay, there's this thing called product management. There are like software developers, designers. After that internship, after watching some videos about UI UX design, maybe I was inspired by some design YouTubers, or maybe it seems fun enough, like you know how your work is different every day kind of thing, or maybe there seems to be enough demand for UI UX designers in Singapore, and I think the pay would be okay since it's in the tech industry. I don't know, but anyhow, I made the decision to just learn the basics and get a job. Yeah, learning the basics, right? There are boot camps, there are like courses, up to you how much money you want to spend. But because I wasn't really sure about UI UX design at that point of time, so I didn't go for the bootcamp because it was very expensive, and I signed up for Interaction Design Foundation membership, 200 plus SGD per year, and you would have access to all of their courses. Since I was like jobless, I had so much time, so I enrolled in like many of their courses, but I only managed to finish one. It's called Design Thinking, the Beginner's Guide. What a bad name. In the meantime, I was also doing the design portfolio. Like, it's a minimum requirement if you want to get an entry level role or even like an internship. Maybe I use Sketch or Figma, I'm not sure, but I now use Figma. The whole world is using Figma, so just use it. For the website builder, I used Webflow. Pros and cons. It's good if you want to customize the site, or if you're just curious and you want to learn about how to build a page. It can also help you understand like how a page is being built. Like, it's not coding per se, but it's like almost coding. Yeah. Cons, there's a bit of a learning curve, meaning you'll need to spend some time to figure it out. Is it worth the time and effort, given that anyhow your first portfolio will be shitty anyways? I was thinking like maybe some Notion pages might be sufficient. Yeah. What other website builders are there?
Squarespace, WordPress, Wix.
Oh, don't use Wix. I initially wanted to use Wix, but then oh my gosh, I almost vomited blood. Cannot. Okay, but I think maybe Squarespace might work. WordPress might work. Notion might work. Do your research. Okay, updated my resume and I applied for the roles. I don't think I heard back from entry level roles. I understand they would probably want someone with a little bit more experience or knowledge. So I applied for internships instead. Yeah, I finally got some response. I can't remember exactly, but I think I probably failed 1 or 2 interviews, and then I got lucky and I passed one. One is all you need. I was actually hired to do design QA for a senior designer because she had other more important stuff to work on. I don't think it's a common term, so let me explain what it's about. She would design something, the developers would code it, and then I would check if that coded thingy matches the original design. If I find something different, then I would need to raise a ticket and have the developers fix that issue. Maybe like, oh, the height is wrong, I don't know what color is wrong. It's very tedious, not fun. But I think it made me view visual design as one of the more important pillars of UI UX design. Other than design QA, I also managed to design some stuff. But of course, that IDF course was not sufficient. I was not a functional designer, so I learned on the job, and my boss was there to like guide me. You imagine a baby duck and a mother duck. That's how it was like. So it was a 6 months internship, so I pushed myself really hard. So yeah, I put in like many extra hours, like every day probably, even like over the weekends. They didn't ask me to. No one asked me to. The output level was really low, effective output. So I felt that I had to sort of like compensate in terms of like amount of effective output, and I knew I had a lot to learn. It was stressful. So yeah, rapid growth. I got converted to a junior product designer at the end of that 6 months. At that point, I knew what was like, expected of me. And of course, I still needed some guidance from my senior designers. But I was like way more functional than I was like when I started the internship. Yes. So after that conversion, I was quite burnt out. So I decided that outside of office hours, I was not going to design, read or learn about design. I shall not grow. Sounds like a rebellious teenager, but it's just like for my mental health. Maybe 10 months later, I got promoted from junior product designer to product designer. Maybe because I was like producing like decent work. Yeah. Then 2 months later I quit lah. Nothing to do with the promotion, of course, but yeah, for some other reasons. No, I still do some design, so wow, this is a very short video. I realized I didn't film like a closure for this video, so I hereby close this video. Thank you very much.